Well, hello, and welcome to this part of the Smoking Hot Toddcast. This is a very special day, very special meeting that I'm having with these two great people because, for those of you who don't know, March is Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month. And then tomorrow, and I'm saying tomorrow because this will be out on Thursday, but tomorrow, or today if you're watching the video, that's the difference. It's tomorrow if you're listening to the podcast, today if you're watching the video. Anyway, regardless, March 25th is National Cerebral Palsy Awareness Day, and there's a lot going on. And if you've listened to the show in the past or listened to things I've done in the past, I've talked to these great people, and CP awareness is something that is very important to me, and it is very important to them, and I am getting to sit down with them. Now, unfortunately, the person that I talked to 9 times out of 10 will not be able to be here today. I thought she was going to get to be here, but school calls. She's in college now. Things are progressing big time for her. Of course, I'm talking about Heaven Ramsey of the CP DreamTeam, but I'm sitting here with two awesome members, and one you met last year on the show, and one is a new friend, somebody that we're meeting for the first time on this show. So please welcome of the CP DreamTeam, Richelle Heath and Thomas Domsick, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
Say hey, hello. So now we're all over the country, all over the Eastern Seaboard right now, because I'm in Knoxville, Tennessee. Rochelle's in Atlanta, Georgia. Thomas, what part of Indiana are you in?
I live in Walkerton. I live in the northwest section of Indiana.
So we run the gamut of the eastern side of this country right now. But that's the beautiful thing. That's really one of the main things I like to talk about, is that CP awareness brings everybody together in a big way. And so it's really cool to get to do this and get to talk to you guys. But let's get right into it. There's been some big things that's been happening with CP awareness. Thomas and I were talking about a little bit before we started the show. Let's get into it. Lighting, the lighting, that's something that gets bigger and bigger every year. Locations have really gotten on board with going green for CP awareness. What is the latest news? What's the big news? I shared it on social media, but share with the world what the big news is with CP awareness.
The biggest thing of all, the icing on the cake, is that we got, I call it the Sears Tower, and so other people, it is the Willis Tower in Chicago, is going to have the attendance on top lit up green. And that's the first time in history that's ever been done.
And that's incredible. Yeah, you want to say Sears Tower. I want to say Sears Tower too. But
because Vince and we all worked for Sears. So it's always going to be the Sears Tower. And for people that, I mean, it's just what it is. And I will tell you something about them now. Thomas and I were very passionate about making our phone calls.
And if you know Richelle, you know the passion goes a long way. She goes hardcore, all out for it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when we were talking to Mr. Thomas, he's like, it's going to light up, and I even did it myself, and I'm going to make it like pulsate so it sparkles. And I was like, yeah, that's great, darling. I appreciate it. I'm not saying I don't trust you, because I do, but can you please add it on your website? Like, because I kind of need the proof in the pudding, because Thomas is going to be traveling and other people, and we both chimed in. They're like, oh, hell, Richelle and Thomas again.
Listen, you guys are a dynamic duo. I love it. You get shit done. There's an important matter here at hand, and you get it done. That's what's important. And so, yeah, now the Willis Tower on Friday will be lighting up green. I mean, how does that make you all feel? I mean, that's got to be incredible.
Well, that's awesome, because to me, it's history in the making.
I remember when it was difficult to get one of our main bridges in Knoxville lit, and I'm talking about the Henley Street Bridge. It was torture to try to get that. No slight on Knoxville, love you Knoxville, but I remember just a few short years ago when that was a hassle. Now you guys are lighting up one of the tallest buildings in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we had to call when we were doing the Henley Street Bridge, we had to call the whatever TDOT.
TDOT, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm like, come on, people. So We got it once, and now there's always construction or something. That's what heaven says. I don't live there, so I don't know, but
Well,
whatever.
anybody who's watching or listening here in Knoxville, you know that yes, both of those bridges, both Henley and Gay Street, which are just right across from each other, are constantly. There's always something going on that hinders that particular area of town. South Knoxville suffered for a while due to the construction of the Henley Street Bridge, but it took a while. It's over, but yeah, there's always something going on. But I mean, from our very lesser known Henley Bridge to the Willis Tower, I mean, that's so huge. And Willis Tower isn't even the only place that's lighting up. Where else is getting lit up?
Well, we have here in my area here in South Bend, Indiana, we have the river lights that are in downtown lit up. And then there's a town that's next door to there that's called Mishawaka. And there we have, I should say, the bridge lit up. And that goes over the river there also. And plus, Richelle was able to get some other places too.
And Richelle, where are those other places?
Oh, and well, in Atlanta, I just did the King and Queen buildings, which are the two biggest buildings in downtown. And like
I was about to say, you say only that. I'm like, those are two of the biggest buildings in the area. That's huge. And it's Atlanta, which is like the second Hollywood now. I mean, it's a huge city.
And like Cheryl, she emailed me back. She's like, Richelle, we rolled you over from last year. Yeah, good. And I was like, great.
That's when you know you've made it with this. When they're like, "Listen, you don't have to call us. We got this covered. We're going to take care of you." Like that. That is huge. Do you think the Willis Tower will be like that eventually? Like, hey, no worries. We're going to light up green.
I feel if we keep doing it, I know that the gentleman I spoke to said that I will have to fill out the application in next year or whatever. But I think if we're consistent, yeah, we'll be right there.
See, and that's a beautiful thing. And that's when you know you're really making a difference. And then I was telling Thomas, like I said before we got started, like, and I remember, and we discussed it a little bit here, but I remember when I first got on board with Heaven, it's been 4 years now, how, she reached out to me and said she was shocked that I was somebody that was willing to do this, willing to talk about.
CP.
Do what?
As was I. And
right?
I was like, I'm going to approach one of your friends. Do you mind if I steal Todd? That's how we became friends, because then I introduced myself to you, and I was like, hey, by the way, I help Heaven with her page, and my name's Richelle, and we started talking, and you, like, anything we needed, you were like, yeah, got it, no problem.
And that's what stunned me, was that there wasn't really anybody else at that time that was just like, yeah, I want to give – it's not even time. It's not even a whole lot of effort to just get the word out there. And so I was stunned that nobody else was on board with this. And so it's crazy how far this has come. It's come full circle over the last few years, where you had very minimal support to now getting the Willis Tower lit up, and two of the biggest buildings in Atlanta, Georgia, getting lit up. I mean, it's incredible.
Well, they don't charge. There are other places I could have got, but
And when Thomas and I were talking about that too, it's like that's still a problem sometimes.
To flip a switch, it lights up anyway.
Exactly. and places like the Henley Bridge go green during Christmas time anyway. So what's the big deal for one day in March?
Yeah, we've tried a lot of other places, and some places you have to pretty much be part of that organization or university. Speaking of that, we have.
Go ahead, Tom. Tell them the truth. Go ahead, Tom.
We have tried the University of Notre Dame, and we spoke to 20 different people, including the president of Notre Dame, and we got denied, and we got this really rude email back from them. And they didn't want to be on board at all, which was really sad to me, being a big old university known throughout the whole world, in my opinion.
And isn't Notre Dame's color green? Aren't they already green? So isn't that just like second nature to them? I don't understand.
And the biggest kicker to me was the fact that the gentleman, I shouldn't even say gentleman, but the guy who sent us the email,
I say dude.
about that I could use St. Patrick's Day
Okay.
for our day because they lit up green for that.
See, that boggles my mind. Again, so A, green is already Notre Dame's color. B, they were going green for St. Patrick's Day. They couldn't go green one more time for CP awareness. Like that just because they're probably going to go pink for breast cancer awareness, and
Yes.
that's a wonderful cause as well. But there are other causes that need attention, and things like cerebral palsy awareness, as we've talked many times on this show, doesn't get the attention that it deserves. It doesn't get the recognition for advocates like yourself and me. That we don't get what we need throughout the land like other awareness groups get. And so, but it just boggles me that a college, a university, first of all, that and then its colors are green already wouldn't just do that. Wouldn't just be second nature for them to do that.
Well, Thomas was trying to get the Touchdown Jesus building, and like we talked to a bunch of nice people on that one, so we were like, okay, we have a good feeling about this. And it's just, I'm not trying to speak bad about anyone.
No, no slight against anybody that we're talking about.
No slide, but if you can't accommodate our request, that's all you have to say. Unfortunately, we cannot accommodate your request. The email was like 5 paragraphs, and it was not very pleasant. It was like we read it like 5 times. We're like, wait, are we reading this right? And then he showed it to other people, and I showed it to other people, and they were like, that's downright rude. I was like, all right, I thought so.
Yeah. I just, you don't know where people get the gall sometimes.
But we're going to talk about the good people that support us. So
absolutely, we should give them more airtime than anything else. So
yeah.
The Willis Tower, all these places in Indiana and in Atlanta. Did Heaven get any places here in Knoxville? Or are we going to get any in Knoxville?
Carson Newman is supposed to, as far as I've been told,
Yes.
by Indiana and Heaven.
And Carson Newman is where Heaven is at. That is the college she goes to. So that is huge that they would do that. See, it's all it takes.
Me and Thomas kind of.
Yeah,
we politely were persistent.
And I can read between the lines there. So yeah, I know what you really mean. You got on Carson Newman's bandwagon, which is good. You got it. You made it happen. That's all that matters.
They know us really well there.
So they know what's up. Then that's important. But in addition to all of these places lighting up, I have been following Thomas. Thomas and I have been friends on Facebook now for quite a while, and I've been following in recent weeks videos that he has posted where he and his friends go out and paint places green.
Clark,
his friend Clark, painting places green, doing some amazing art, and the video quality. Of course, if anybody's watched our videos at Superfuzz Productions, I'm a big stickler on editing. I love editing, and so when I see somebody who has editing skills like I've seen in these videos, they are amazing. So talk about what you've been doing with Clark recently, Thomas.
Well, my friend Clark, he is an artist. He has his own business and everything. I approached him because I was like, it'd be really fun to do, and I felt like he would be the one person to do it. So I asked him, I was like, hey, Clark, would you like to paint windows with me? It'd be temporary paint and everything, but would you like to go around to different businesses and raise awareness? And he's like, yeah, I'm totally on board. And so then I bought some temporary, like paint, washable marker, and I got that. I bought all that. We got all set. And then we started off at the barber shop in my town, which in that same building is his art studio or whatever. But we started there. That was the first one that we did. And we also bought green light bulbs and outside of the barber shop in my town, which the barber shop is called Rusty Razor. We got that lit up green plus painted the windows. And then we also did the tattoo shop in my town and got that all painted. And currently right now we're working on painting the bank in town where my mom works at.
That's amazing. And that's local town supporting each other. And that's something that really, really is important.
Yeah, nobody in Atlanta would ever let me do anything.
Nobody in Knoxville would let me or Heaven do that either. So yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, the lighting is awesome sauce. Don't get me wrong, but Thomas and Clark, they will have that forever because they did that.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, I'm not allowed to curse on here.
You can curse. I curse. I said shit earlier, and you can go ahead.
That shit is too legit. That
Exactly.
Shit is too legit.
Exactly.
I'm just saying.
And it shows too. I mean, go check out his videos on Facebook, and you will see
5,000 times. I keep watching.
And it's no surprise because I'm the same way. I keep going back, and I'm like, these guys got not just video editing skills, but art skills. They know what they're doing, and it looks beautiful. And it's like I said, it's local. A local town supporting those around themselves, and that's super important because I'm not even sure that my hometown would do that. They probably would, but coming from me and Richelle, who live in big cities, like we said, Atlanta and Knoxville, they would never allow something like that. So it's refreshing to see a town really get behind one of a couple of its members and doing wonderful things. It's really beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been really exciting, and it's been fun to do. And just as like the very first day that I was doing it, there's a couple times where I took a break and I had people text me on my phone because they were driving by and they saw like, "Hey, I saw what you're doing. That's super cool. I'm gonna go paint my windows."
Right.
Or, "Hey, do this." So it's pretty awesome.
See, that's a beautiful thing. I absolutely love that. So yeah, go check out his videos on his Facebook page. They are incredible. I can't recommend them enough. And just in time.
They're on Heaven's, and they're on Heaven's page, Stairway to the Stars, and they're on the CP DreamTeam, and they're on the official group, and they're on YouTube. You will find them.
They're out there. What I'll do is I'll post a link in both the podcast and the video, so you can go and check check out the videos from wherever you're listening or seeing this at this point. You can go and check them out, so that way he gets the recognition that he deserves, because these are beautiful videos. They really are.
Thank you.
You're absolutely welcome. So what's next for CP Awareness? I mean, the sky's the limit, and we're scraping it with skyscrapers right now. So, but what is it? What's next?
Well, I wanted to bring something up while we were talking about Thomas and Clark doing the buildings. Sure. Thomas and our dear friend Charity came together and designed this hoodie. This is our 11 people, number 11.
And it's absolutely gorgeous.
And you can't see the back because I'm sitting down, but on the back it's got 250 names of cerebral palsy warriors, parents, friends, aides, family.
I wanted to ask, has that list grown since I got started with you all in 2018?
I mean, yeah, but it only fits 250 for the back.
Right.
So when we open the names, first come, first serve, because there's no more than 250 that will fit.
Right.
Unless, some people do theirs with not green. Well, some people tried to copy us and
posers,
do theirs.
But those are posers.
And tried to copy us and do theirs with like commas, and however you spelled your name was you spelled your name. And see, what people don't realize about the shirts that Heaven and I started, like, I came to her when she was still underage, and I was like, "Hey man, I got an idea." You know what I mean? Like, let's knock it out. And so they don't realize, like, people will be like, "Oops, I misspelled my name. Oops, can you fix this? Oops." And so, like, when we do things, if you look, when you have shirts, you'll be getting yours, I guess, Friday.
At the time of this recording, mine's in the mail, so I can't wait for it to get here.
You could see perfection. It is perfection. I mean, I'm not putting my name on nothing that's not perfection. That's right. Thomas. Same way, and so is Heaven. Heaven and I are twinsies. So our birthdays are close by. We're both Taurus. We both, that's just the way rock and roll.
That's the way it rolls.
So.
but absolutely no. The shirts get better and better every year, and this year's look is absolutely beautiful. And I like I said, I can't wait for mine to get here. And I will be, if it gets here before the 25th, absolutely, I'll be sporting it. Well, I'll be sporting it regardless, but I mean, I'll definitely be wearing it on CP Awareness Day. And yeah, the design is just incredible. And that's another amazing piece of work from Thomas and his friend Clark. And so I applaud you all.
Charity.
Or charity, excuse me, charity, yes.
Yes. And what's really cool about this is the first year that they've had one with two people have this design together on a collaboration.
Yeah.
And that's incredible. And again, Thomas and charity, I want to make sure I get that right. But yeah, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous shirt. And it's so humbling when like you said, when you look on the back of these shirts and you see all these names, and it's like it's better to have too many than not enough. And it's like, you have to just first come, first serve, because there's so many supporters out there now. We can't put them all on the shirt. How does that feel? How does that make you feel?
I mean, it makes me feel very blessed. It makes me feel very blessed that an idea that I had that came from a high school t-shirt when I graduated high school in 94, we had a shirt with someone's design on the front, and then all the names in the graduating class on the back. And when I was like cleaning up my room one day and getting rid of old unnecessary stuff, I was like, man, I never seen a shirt like this. What if we? And it was very hard to find someone like Tiffany that could meet our expectations of what we wanted. You know what I mean?
I know exactly, yeah.
People, I'm sure they don't mean it, but they tend to drive you a little. they tend to drive you a little crazy.
That's being kind, yes.
And I just want them to realize we would accommodate everyone if we can, but we want the writing big enough for people to see it, and we want the green hearts because the green hearts is that was always our thing. That's why when I text you or whatever, I'm always putting a green heart, because it's just our, or a smiley face or a little, lovey dude.
Exactly. and I do it in return because it's mad respect. That green heart is extremely important. So that's a very big deal. Well, getting back to my question though, but what's next for CP Awareness? What's the next big thing?
Now, come on, I haven't thought that far.
Thomas, anything?
I have to say, no definite plans, but I have to say, since I have become part of the CP DreamTeam and gotten to be really close to Heaven and Richelle, the three of us together, we are like the ultimate team, and there's just so much in the future that we could do together. I feel that we can do some big things, and I feel here in the future we could definitely get some big things going. I would love to eventually in the future have a nonprofit together with three of them, or the three of us, excuse me.
And that would be absolutely incredible. There's no doubt in my mind that the three of you could create a wonderful organization that could really piece all this together and go above and beyond, and I didn't have to worry about it. If somebody's going to light up, they're just going to do it because you guys are so big and so awesome. And so there's no doubt in my mind that in the near future that will absolutely happen for you guys, because I mean you all are an inspiration. I mean every year that I've been a part of this, it never ceases to amaze me at how amazing and fantastic all the things that you guys do. So I'm very. You're welcome. I'm very humbled to be a part of this.
I love you.
I love you too. You're great.
Oh, guys, I was just going to tell you a joke. When I first met Hot Toddy, he was doing favors for us. Like anything we asked, he's like, yeah, I'll see if I can get it done. And like in 2020, he helped us put together this great article that made the front page of Google and got shared like a bunch of times. And he read it on his I guess it was a podcast back then, right?
It was on the podcast. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And And so we have a joke, and I was like, you know what? You're upgraded from boyfriend status to husband status. That was our joke. So I'm like, hey, husband.
Exactly, and I'm here for it. Richelle is my wife. We are married, and that's just the way you all have to deal with it. It's the way it is. But no, Richelle is wonderful. Heaven is wonderful. Thomas, you're wonderful. You guys have gone from a dynamic duo to a tremendous trio.
Yeah.
And this thing is blowing up more and more every year. So thank you all.
Yo, you're welcome. I interrupted you. Go
No,
ahead.
you're going. What were you going to say?
What do you think? We're open to your ideas for next year. We're not going to do shirts for World CP Day because one is just, two a year now with Heaven in college and me being a caregiver for mommies and Thomas trying to go back to school and us it's too much. But like if you have any ideas and anything like that you want to like throw out there, and I also want you to put your so people can get to know who you are. So tell us about you.
Well, oh my God. I don't think have I ever talked about myself on this show before. I don't think so. I just do stuff and I go home. No, I born and raised here in Tennessee, and spent most of my adult life in broadcasting. I went to UT, was a 2012 graduate, studied broadcasting. I worked in radio for 14 years. That ended in November. But since 2015, I've been doing this show called the Smoking Hot Toddcast, and I've also and that's been going on since 2015. I've been doing videos on YouTube since 2020, and this whole little empire has kind of exploded for us, and so we're creating new content all the time, and in addition to all of that, I have met some great people along the way. CP DreamTeam is at the top of the list. And since 2018, I have been working along with these great people and trying to bring awareness. And if you've listened to the podcast, and if you've seen the videos on YouTube, we've talked to them many times and gotten to know them very well. And it's a very, very fun experience, and I've been enjoying it a great deal. So that's just a little bit about me. There's more, I'm sure, but we have 9 minutes left in my Zoom.
I won't tell your secrets.
Okay.
I won't tell them. I'll leave them to myself.
You'll keep the secrets. Well, that's good to know. See, I feel better about that.
And anyway, guys, we're doing a video like we do every year. So wear your green. It doesn't have to be this shirt if you don't have it. Wear your green. Send in your pictures to me, Thomas, or Heaven, and we're gonna put the video together and we're going to share it out like we always do. And the main thing is near and far. When you look at this shirt and you look at the back, near and far, we all live all around Texas, California, we're all connected. So you look at the back of the shirt and you're not alone.
Absolutely.
Right,
Thomas?
Yes, we are all part of one team.
From sea to shining sea, we're all in this together. And so very important, Friday, March 25th is National CP Day. Wear your green, go green, put green light bulbs and things, make light up green. Do what Thomas does. If someone allows you, paint something green. Show how much green you can put out there, because we want to know if CP awareness is getting out there. Clearly it is. Willis Tower's lighting up. A lot of places are lining up, but we want more. We're greedy. We need more here. So keep it up. Wear your green on Friday and show your support for CP awareness. Richelle, Thomas, thank you guys so much for being a part of this.
Thank you, darling.
Thank you.
I'm nervous. I always get nervous because I don't do these kind of things except for you.
Well,
but
you do an amazing job. So you did an amazing job here. So you're fantastic, and I love you both. And thank you all so much. We've been talking to Richelle Heath and Thomas Domsick of the CP Dream Team right here on the Smoking Hot Toddcast.